Well, ladies and gentlemen, just a few days ago, we had a conversation about Michael Irvin, the playmaker's comments as it pertains to one Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons. Today, another one of those Cowboys legends from the championship teams had some strong words to say, except this legend is coming at his criticism from a different angle. Let's get right into it as Emmitt Smith has some strong words as it pertains to Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and how the Cowboys' handling of this entire situation has been quote-unquote unacceptable. Yeah, so Cowboys legend Emmitt Smith believes Dak Prescott isn't being set up for success. Interesting here, the Dallas Cowboys' CeeDee Lamb contract saga has dominated headlines throughout the offseason and into training camp. Lamb remains away from the team with the start of the preseason right around the corner, and many are hoping the team and the star wide receiver can quickly resolve their differences. Cowboys legend and Pro Football Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith understands what it's like to be part of a winning team and to keep star players happy, and he recently spoke about the importance of getting Lamb back on the field. Smith believes Lamb is crucial to Dak Prescott's success, and without Lamb under contract, the team isn't putting Prescott in the best position to find that. Emmitt Smith says, quote, "With CeeDee and the Dallas Cowboys today, let's make this very clear. He is a very, very valuable asset to the Dallas Cowboys. He is a very, very valuable asset to Dak Prescott. Without him on the football field, they're putting all of the pressure on Dak Prescott now," Smith told RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys, and that is unacceptable, because every quarterback of his caliber should have quality people to throw the ball to, not no plan B or no plan C or no plan D guy. He should be in a position, as your franchise quarterback, he should be in a position to be successful. And right now, you putting him behind the 8 ball, and that is not right. And that's how I see it. And ladies and gentlemen, everything Emmitt Smith just said right here is 100% facts. In no way is he saying that CeeDee Lamb made Dak Prescott. But if you look even historically, every great quarterback has had a great receiver to throw the ball to at some point in their career. Unless your name is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is one of the few guys that has bucked that particular trend. I guess you could honestly put Drew Brees in that situation too, because Drew Brees didn't necessarily have like a top 3 receiver in the league type of guy that he was throwing to either. So there's a couple of guys that have kind of bucked that trend. But by and large, it's unheard of to think that a quarterback is going to perform well when he's throwing to plan B, plan C, plan D guys like Emmitt Smith just said here. And as it pertains to the CeeDee Lamb contract negotiations, I have a sneaky idea as it pertains to what may be actually going on. This is just a theory, just a working theory here, but taking into account Jerry Jones and what he says about wanting to stir the pot and loving the Cowboys to dominate the news headlines, and taking into account what we have heard people that used to work for stations like ESPN and FS1 talk about as it pertains to how those networks will hold back breaking news so that way that they can break that news when it suits them the best. Meaning from an advertisement standpoint or a content standpoint, if you need some breaking news, the best time to break breaking news for the NFL right now, if you have a huge story like a Brandon Ayuk being traded, a trade being verbally agreed on, but nothing being officially reported or nothing being finalized. If you have huge news like Dak Prescott contract extension or a CeeDee Lamb contract extension, stuff that could genuinely give you a week or two of actual content on all of these sports shows. If you have that type of news to break, why wouldn't you wait to break that news until after the Olympics are over? You know, the massive sporting event that only happens every 4 years, that is dominating literally every network that shows sports. The Olympics is sports right now, guys. This is the most important thing going on in sports. Think about it. You have the Olympics, that is built-in entertainment, that's built-in ratings, that is built-in viewer retention. You don't really need anything else to make people want to gravitate to sports networks right now, because the Olympics is satisfying that for you. When the Olympics are over on August 11th, what are they going to talk about then? They're probably going to do an Olympic recap for a day or two afterwards, but what's going to be the major news stories that's going to make viewers want to tune in to these networks? The Brandon Ayuk trade being finalized, something that's official for them to finally sink their teeth into. CeeDee Lamb's contract being announced. Dak Prescott's contract being announced. With just those 3 news items, you don't think that all of sports media could probably carry themselves into the regular season of the NFL based off of having discussions around those 3 things? And think about this. The Olympics started July 26th. That just also happens to be the same day that Jordan Love signed his contract extension with the Green Bay Packers, which was the last piece of actual breaking news coming out of the NFL. Not only this, but one of the biggest shows on the flagship sports network, First Take, is on hiatus right now. They have the subs in right now while Stephen A. and Shannon are on vacation. Do you really think they're going to break some news like Cowboys contracts being dropped or a Brandon Ayuk trade or anything like that when they got the replacements on their national TV programs? Now, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I may be coping a little bit here. I can be realistic and admit when I may be having a little bit of cope in one of my takes. This is a little bit of copium-infused take right here because I am getting impatient. I think these deals are going to get done. I'm just getting tired of the process of waiting for them to happen. But also as a businessman, as someone who creates content, as someone who has to keep up with trends and viewer trends and different engagement trends and the algorithms and stuff like that and what's hot and search volume and all that stuff, I also understand that it would best serve these networks to hold off from breaking actual news until the Olympics are over, and that way they don't have a gap in coverage to where the Olympics are over, then you got another 2 or 3 weeks of kind of stale ESPN and FS1 coverage, and then the NFL season kicks up and people really start caring again. No, instead, let the Olympics be over, start dropping breaking news, and that way you got your networks hot, heated, and ready when the season starts. And all the fans are already sitting in the chairs because they've been watching y'all talk about all these massive deals and these massive trades that have been happening, right? So, me personally, I think that that is something that is plausible. It's a logical explanation for why we haven't actually seen anything be announced. And when you realize that the Olympics started July 26th, which was shortly after the training camp period for the Cowboys, and it ends August 11th, you realize that, honestly, this kind of lines up with the timeline in which the Cowboys probably set in place for them to actually announce these deals for Dak Prescott. Remember, Jane Slater reported way back in like March or something that the Cowboys and Dak Prescott probably wouldn't come to an agreement on the contract extension until August. She literally reported that. I kind of bucked at that a little bit, but I also didn't take into account that, yeah, the Olympics are going to be going on during that time, and Jerry loves to be the center of attention. How long do you think the Cowboys would be the top story when something else happens in the Olympics, an international event? How long do you think the Cowboys would have been a top story if one of those huge stories dropped in the peak of the Olympics? Probably for a day or two, but definitely not for the week or two that they would be the lead story if they dropped shortly after the Olympics, right? So that right there is a little bit of metagaming. There's really no evidence or anything factual for me to sink my teeth in to the point to say, hey, this is the reason that this is happening. But I agree with Emmitt Smith right here. Regardless of the reason of why the contracts aren't done yet or what may be happening, I think that the Cowboys absolutely are setting Dak Prescott up for failure right now as it pertains to making sure that he has everything he needs to carry the load that Jerry and the Cowboys front office wants to see him carry. At the end of the day, you can't ask him to do something that no other quarterback is being asked to do. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a true number 1 receiver, but at least he has a reliable run game. He has reliable play calling and a reliable head coach. He has other aspects of that offense that he can lean on, and it's not all on his shoulders. Dak Prescott's run game is in question, and right now his receiver room is in question. So what Emmitt Smith said here is right on point, but I kind of wanted to use what Emmitt Smith was talking about as a reason to kind of discuss my theory as it pertains to why we may be seeing these holdups with the CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott contracts. I think it has a lot to do with the Olympics, and the way that the Brandon Ayuk trade to the Steelers is being handled kind of makes me feel like that's more so in play here. But nonetheless, there's nothing that you can look at in this article and say Emmitt Smith is wrong about. And specifically speaking on the CeeDee Lamb being an asset thing, it's really frustrating that anytime I make a video about Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, or CeeDee Lamb, one of the first things that people who don't know football like to say is, oh, well, let's see it in the playoffs. I want to tell y'all right now, I'm going to just start blocking people that don't know how to talk sports outside of talking about, oh, what they do in the play. I'm going to block you. Because no one likes talking to people like you. There's no point in talking to people who talk sports like that. It's extremely annoying. It's honestly kind of ignorant. And to be quite honest, it's irrelevant, bro. The playoffs are about 3 or 4 games in the season. There's been dudes who've been trashed throughout their whole career, have amazing plays in the playoffs. Does that all of a sudden make them great players? Is David Tyree one of the best receivers ever because he made an amazing catch in the Super Bowl? No. So stop trying to act like that unless a guy is playing well in the playoffs, then the rest of his career means nothing. You guys are so ignorant and annoying with that. And for real, I'm just going to block you because I don't want to see it. And I know my community is tired of interacting with people who talk like that and use that as our only basis of conversation as it pertains to dialogue about sports and the Cowboys in particular. So you guys are annoying. Emmitt Smith knows what he's talking about. I prefer to listen to Emmitt Smith over people that think that CeeDee Lamb is some exposable guy that they need to get rid of because he's a diva and blah, 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 blah. You guys are complete morons. And that's why we steal the same old Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.